Heal from the trauma your abuser has caused. To get healthy enough and strong enough to leave your abuser, you need to heal from the damage he's done to you, or she has done to you, because there are female narcissists too, and borderlines who will rip your guts out. There are no shortcuts in the work of trauma recovery. I wish there were. There are not. There is no way to skip steps or accelerate the process of healing. The only way to truly heal is to directly face the traumatic events and relive them. God will give you the power and endurance to do the incredibly hard and painful work of trauma recovery. God will use the process of recovery to heal you, mold you, change you, and renew you. Okay, here's a couple of trauma recovery strategies that will help you. And of course, much more in the book, Enough is Enough. First, list the abusive events. Go back to the beginning of your present relationship with your current abuser, when you first met, and make a list of the times your spouse has abused you. Now, you won't be able to include every abusive event. They don't make that much paper. There isn't enough storage on your phone, frankly. But list the major ones. Pray that God will help you remember the traumatic occurrences of abuse he wants you to remember. And these incidents will cover all the abuse you've taken from your husband. What God's going to do is bring to mind a certain number of abusive events. 5, 8, 10, 14, 20. They'll come into your mind. Those are the ones that will cover all the abuse you've suffered with your abuser. It's a psychological and biblical tool that God uses. Now, as you list each event, write a detailed description of it. I'm always into the details because details are what heal, and attach it to the pain and the memories. When you deal in generalities, you are avoiding the pain, and sidestepping the awful truth leads to zero healing. As much as it hurts, retelling the pain in detail leads to true healing. I have people write these things out, and write letters, and even talk verbally, and I have them go over. I say, no, that's too general. All right, I want the details. What you were wearing, what room you were in, what exactly he said, how you felt about what he said. We're going to go frame by frame because that's how you heal. It takes time. These accelerated healing techniques, I'm not a fan. Frankly, I don't think they work. This is old school, but it works. Talk it through in detail and then write about it. From start to finish, you are reliving each of these abusive events. What happened just before the incident, what the abuser said and did during the event, what you said and did, where the event happened, how long the event lasted, your emotions during and after the event, what you were thinking during and after the event, all the pain and anguish you experienced, and the impact of the abuse on you and your children and others. Okay, that's a lot, but it's what you need to do. If you avoid the details and the pain attached to them, the trauma stays inside you, fully intact, literally never goes away, and you remain emotionally weak. If you face the details and the pain attached to them, you'll break up the trauma and it will begin to leave you. And then you become emotionally stronger. A lot of pastors, well-meaning biblical pastoral counselors, want you to do a quick prayer and take care of the past and leave it at the cross. No, that's part of the process. It doesn't heal you. You have to do the emotional work. Now, once you've written the account of the abusive events, and if you see me or talk to me on the phone, I'm going to have you write it out. You'll read it to your therapist and talk through each event. You'll also read it to your accountability partner. It's all part of the process. So by directly facing these abusive events, you will see that none of the abuse you suffered is your fault. It's not. Every single abusive event is completely the fault of your abuser. No guilt, no shame, but healing. Now, the second strategy is list all your losses. Okay, first we list the abusive events and work them through verbally and in the written word. Now, list your losses. Write down all the losses you've suffered because of living with your abuser. To this point, you've coped by living in denial, not admitting these losses to yourself or anyone else, just moving on. It's time to drop the denial act and honestly acknowledge the losses you've allowed your abuser to inflict on you. This exercise will hurt you, but it's a good, healthy hurt. By putting on paper your losses and reading them to your therapist and your accountability partner, you'll move past denying the abuse and into reality, cold, hard reality. You'll realize with sickening clarity what living with your abuser has cost you. If you do this, you'll take significant steps toward healing, getting stronger, and being motivated to leave. Now, this same process works for any trauma. I'm just focused on living with an abuser here. Could be a dad that sexually molested you. Could be a mom who criticized you terribly. Whatever the abusive event, list the losses and put it on paper. Now, as you did with the abusive events, same process, you'll describe each loss in detail. what the abuser has done to cause the loss, the pain of the loss, your emotions connected to the loss, the impact of a loss on your life and the lives of others, and how you plan to reverse the process and get back what was taken from you. You are reclaiming territory. The Bible says you will reclaim. God will replace what the locusts have eaten. That's what you're doing. Now, for just an example of what this looks like, consider this wife's list of losses. She had written this out and read it to me because when people write, they always read it to me. Dave, here's what I've lost because of living with my abuser. I've lost, this is her talking, I have lost my happiness, joy, peace, sanity, self-esteem, self-confidence, independence, identity, career. She had to give her career up for this dirtball, energy and drive, parents and siblings. Because many abusive dirtballs will cut you off from your own family, and you'll allow it. You're going back to your family. He doesn't like it? Tough. Physical health. Close connection to God. That's probably the worst one, the worst loss of all. Friends, dignity, self-respect. Here's a tough one, the respect and love of my children, because the abusive narcissist will poison your kids against you. That's why the sooner you can get out, the better. I asked this abused woman to write down and talk through in detail each loss on her list. This took several months, but was it worth it? Yes. Because she healed from the inside out. After clients have written and talked through their losses with me, I tell them your abuser is absolutely, totally, 100% wrong about you. You're going to get your self-esteem back. You're going to get your confidence back. You're going to get your dignity back. You're going to get everything back that he's taken from you. Every loss is going to be restored. You're going to see yourself the way God sees you. And God knows you better than anyone, and he loves you. He's crazy about you. Listing abusive events and listing losses are just two strategies that can help you become emotionally healthy. Your Christian therapist will have more strategies to guide you in your journey of healing and recovery, escape from your abuser, and building your new life.